I am actually disproportionately excited about this and the next video I have planned coming up. And I say disproportionately because they are exceptionally simple things, but they're actually fundamental to cooking. And if you really want to learn how to do this, this video and the next one coming up are ones that you really want to pay close attention to. But forget about the next video, you know, one shot at a time. We are going to talk about clarifying butter, which is an integral part of classical gourmet and actually of Indian cuisine as well. Now they call it ghee, and it's a slightly different process for making it, but if you have an Indian recipe that calls for ghee, you can absolutely use clarified butter. Now, why do we clarify butter? Let's answer that first. Why do we go through all this? Butter comes in those nice sticks and you chop it up and put it in stuff and it's delicious, right? Absolutely. Butter, though, has several components. There's water, there's milk solids, and then there's the pure fat that's in butter. That really, I mean, the solids will give it some kind of a flavor, but most of that flavor is in the fat, and certainly, you know, the mouth feel and stuff like that, the really good parts. The problem with those solids is that they burn, and the problem with the water is that it makes the fat spit. You know, when you throw a pat of butter into a hot oil pan and it goes and starts turning brown way too quick. Well, that's from all the stuff that isn't in clarified butter. Regular butter has what's called a smoke point, and that's the heat level at which the fat starts to break down and not taste so good. Regular butter is about 320 degrees, right? Pretty low. Clarified butter, if you do it particularly well, can be up to 465 degrees. I mean, you can roast with it, you can do high heat frying with it, you could probably deep fry with it if you want to spend that kind of money. But anyway, let's talk about the process, and this actually isn't quite it, but I wanted to do this as a demonstration. I melted some butter in a bell jar here. And as you can see, along the bottom, those are all the milk solids. Now, sometimes, especially if you use salted butter, and you should use unsalted butter, the solids will float to the top, and you'll usually still get a little bit of that. And what you can't see terribly well is that right about here, it's actually a mixture of the water and the oil. They haven't completely separated yet. So what I really want is about that much. But you don't make it in a bell jar. So let's get to the problem. Okay, as you can see, I've set up basically a very simple double boiler here. And you want to do it this way. In some instructions, they'll actually tell you to just put the butter in a pot and put the pot right on top of the flame. And one of my chefs in culinary school thought it would be funny to demonstrate exactly why that's such a bad idea. Because on the bottom of this pan, right, there's water. The water will come up to here. And then there's the fat floating on top of it. And what happens when water and oil suddenly mix? Well, when that water on the bottom of the pan boils up into the oil, it'll explode to about this high, make an incredible mess, and quite possibly catch on fire. None of which is a great way to start the day, because butter fires absolutely suck. They're greasy, they're smoky, you know, you want to avoid that at all costs. You want to do, you know, at least 2 pounds. I sometimes do more like 3 or 4 pounds at a time. And this, I've already got a bit of a head start because I had that melted butter already. But we'll get that in on the double boiler. Try to keep your water from running out. And Give it a little time. Now I want to talk to you about margarine. Margarine is Satan's spread, okay? It is so bad for you. This idea that natural fat is bad for you is insanity. Total insanity. And I know LCHF Chef William just smiled at that. I don't go for the whole scientific diet thing, but Chef William and I completely agree on, actually how healthy fat is for you. And margarine is, frequently made from the hydrolyzed oils of soybeans or corn, which are incredibly bad for you, and nowadays usually genetically modified to contain even more poison, which is not a good idea. Or they're made from something called carrageenan, which is a seaweed extract that's used as fat substitute in a lot of things, like ice cream. One of its other major uses is rat poison. That's right, they use it in laboratories to make rats sick so that they can test drugs on them. Or health food. I mean, that's how Orwellian our food system has gotten. Health food is made with rat poison, quite literally. So you're best off going back to the stuff that humanity has been eating for thousands of years with very few ill effects. Okay, as you can see, I have some of the solids floating on the surface of the butter. It's now getting time to take it out. I like to put it into a metal container because it will cool off a little bit quicker that way. And you want yourself a good sized label. Maybe just sort of push the top solids out of the way and dip your ladle into the surface. Avoid those evil solids. And ladle it out. Now if you go to culinary school, you're going to spend the first 2 months doing this and making stock. And you'll be like, when do I get to the good stuff, man? And then you sort of realize this is the good stuff. Whenever I do stuff like this, I feel like I'm living out like my childhood fantasies of being a mad scientist, bubbling and everything. Yeah, it's cool. At this point, I actually like to stop, okay? There's still certainly butter fat in here, but with the ladle, it gets a little harder to get down in there. You're starting to pull up more solids. And what I will do is I will put this, once it's cooled down a little bit, into the fridge, and the fat will congeal on top of the water and most of the solids, and then I can take that out, and it'll still work pretty well as, a whole butter, but it will have fewer solids and less water in it. And then I'll take that, and the next time I go to clarify butter, I'll put that in the batch. So that actually, if you do this regularly, you wind up with increasingly, amazing clarified butter. Really pure. And it is the difference between gourmet and garbage. It really is. So thanks, that's all I wanted to show you. I thank you a lot for tuning in. Welcome to all my new Tumblr people. You guys are amazing. And I'll be back actually much shorter than I usually wait between videos because I'm so excited to do my next one. We'll see you.